You know what I mean?
Councilor Walsh, can you hear us?
Yes, I can, Councilor.
Okay, we're going to call the council back in session.
Can you hear me?
We can. Okay. So, Madam Clerk. Okay. Madam Clerk, we have Councilor Walsh and Perez now reconnected and able to hear us. Items, as I stated earlier, for those reasons, councilors being unable to participate in items 3, 4, and 6. We're going to hear item 5 at this time. And if we have other councilors join by the end of item 5, then we will hear item 3, 4, and 6 as appropriate. But if we don't, then we'll have to continue those items to our next meeting. So, Madam Clerk, can you please call item number 5?
Item 5 is for a special permit for motor vehicle repair and maintenance at the property known as 1267 Boston Road.
Good evening. Petitioners will have 20 minutes to present. Opponents will be offered 20 minutes, consistent with council rules. There is a 10-minute rebuttal period. Please introduce yourself, sir.
Good evening, Mr. President. Thank you. My name is Seth Stratton. I'm an attorney with offices at 1 Monarch Place in Springfield. With me is my colleague, Rachel Fancy, and my client, Jay Patel. I'm going to speak fast and turn it over to her so we don't lose connection and can take a vote. But without further ado, I'll pass it to my colleague, Rachel Fancy, to walk through the project and our request tonight.
Thank you, Seth. As I said, I am Rachel Fancy with Fitzgerald Law. I'm here with Jay Patel, who is the going to be the operator at the site. It's going to be a Take 5 oil change facility. It'll be similar to, a Jiffy Lube or that sort of situation that you might be familiar with, where it'll provide quick change oil changes, wiper replacements, as well as air filter changes. Most of the services that they're going to be offering are going to be 8 to 9 minutes. Previously, we came before the council for a zone change at this site back in November of 2023. This council voted in favor of that zone change and has enabled this property to become a commercial development once again. We teed it up at that council meeting that this might be a potential viable use for the site, and it has come to fruition with hopefully council's approval tonight. This vacant lot will now be able to be developed into this Take 5 oil change facility. Prior to coming to the council tonight, we did go to the neighborhood council. We walked through the operations itself and discussed what was going to come in, what the landscape was going to look like. As you can see on the image we have today, I know the lighting's not great for those of you on Zoom, but there's going to be some significant buffering with bushes around, a fence in the rear that is right next to the residences in the back. We did do a site visit previously to it and got a very good feel with the neighborhood council of where that buffering needed to be and have incorporated that with the developer here today, which is what is evidenced on the landscaping plans we do have. They're going to be employing about 9 to 12 employees at this site, depending on the need. They would be employing people from the community. As discussed, this would be a very quick operation, meaning that it would not directly impact traffic. It would be very quick. Most of the people would just come in, out. They would stay in their vehicles at all times. They would enter the 3 loading bays they have. Any sort of cars waiting would stay in the 3 queuing lanes. Once those cars were finished in the dock, they would leave, exit, and enter the property off of Rentham Road, I believe it is. I can't see from here. But exit and enter through Rentham Road. There would be no direct access onto Boston Road as there's no curb cut, so there would be no impact onto the Boston Road traffic other than through Rentham. And with that, I don't know if anyone has any questions for Mr. Patel or myself regarding the operations. We also have Ashton Fritz with the engineering team who can answer any operational questions they might have with the site.
Thank you, Attorney Fancy. Are there anyone else wishing to speak in favor of this application? See again, anyone wishing to speak in favor? Seeing none, that closes this portion of the hearing. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Say again, anyone wishing to speak in opposition to this petition? Okay, that closes this portion of the hearing. While the hearing remains open, are there questions from the council for the petitioner? Councilor Allen.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, my main question would be, have you met with the neighbors who do abut the property and/or met with the Civic Association?
We did meet with the neighborhood council, and there should be a letter of support in with your packets tonight. We did a site visit originally, and one of the abutters who had expressed some concerns about what could go in there, and we had sort of forecasted what could go there, we did end up writing him a letter directly, just informing him of what was going to be going in, and we attached a copy of the plan and invited him to have any conversations if he needed to, and we did not hear anything back, so we were fairly confident that he was satisfied with that letter of response.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Govan.
Thank you, Mr. President. And yes, these plans were presented at the Indian Orchard Citizens Council. I'm not sure of the date. And they did also have a site visit on the site where the neighbors were invited to attend. And the Citizens Council and the neighbors decided that it would be a good idea to have this type of business there at that place. So the Citizens Council did present a letter of support.
Thank you, Councilor Govan. Councilor Davila.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for your presentation, Seth and the attorney. Just a housekeeping question. Can you tell me and walk me through how you're going to get rid of the oil?
Jay, do you want to take this one over?
Sure. Okay. A little difference in the height. Yeah, so the waste oil will be stored in tanks and then be, picked up by a company that usually, facilitates that kind of business, recycled.
So are you going to be putting underground tank?
No, they won't be underground.
Okay, so
It'll
you
be-
take it from the car into a container?
Yeah, it goes into the pan, and there's like a system that will bring it back up into
Into
above
an
ground.
external tank?
Yes.
Okay, and the external tank is going to be well protected and
Correct.
marked hazardous waste?
Yep. So yeah, but it's all according to Take Five's national what they do. They have 700 plus locations. So
Because I never heard of Take 5.
yeah, it's very similar to Valvoline. They're bigger in the south, and we're looking to bring it to Massachusetts and New England in general.
Okay.
They started opening in the Albany, New York market already, and so we're slowly making our way east.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you, Mr. Patel.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr.
Okay.
President,
Councilor
just a
Santinello.
quick question of the petitioner, sir. Are you going to be doing anything other than oil? Are you going to be doing transmission fluid? Anything else other than oil?
Very rarely transmission fluid, but that's it. So transmission fluid, oil, windshield wipers, and air filters, cabin and engine. But the transmission fluid is not. It might be 1 or 2% of the business. It's 95% just oil changes
Oil.
and then
And you
wipers.
mentioned 9 employees, potentially up to 9. Are
Up to 12. So nine is probably on the lower end.
Are those full-time or part-time or both?
Both.
They're both.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Yes, sir.
And if I might add, so like we said, it's only the oil change and the fluids and the wipers. So there's no loud noises from any wheel ratchets or that kind of thing, air hammers.
Sir, if you could just remain at the podium for another minute. Councilor Govan, the recommendation from the neighborhood says 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. hours, but the recommendation from the planning department says 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So which one should we go with? The way around. Oh, okay, well, is it 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. or 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.?
I honestly can't remember what the council members said. What did the letter that we sent you say? It said 7 to 7, and you wanted 8 to 8? Well, what is it that you guys want to do?
We originally applied for 8 to 8, right?
Because I think they agreed with, the council members
We had
agreed
put
with what
7 to 7 as, that's
proposed.
just the standard operations for the site, and that's what we went to the council with, and then I believe planning came back with 8 to 8, and if that's what the council ends up determining, we did have an internal discussion that we would be amenable to doing that. We just are going with the industry standard that Take 5 does, which is 7 to 7.
So that's what the Citizens Council agreed on.
So then, Counselor Govan, once we close the hearing, maybe you could make a motion to change that condition to be 7 to 7.
Okay, so yeah, I will make a motion to change that condition, please.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, so first we're going to close the hearing. Is there anyone else to speak in favor or in opposition? Seeing none, we're going to close the public hearing. There's a motion by Counselor Govan to amend the special permit condition for hours of operation to be 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. That motion is seconded by Counselor Davila. Madam Clerk, please call the roll on the motion.
On the motion to amend the condition, Counselor Walsh.
Counselor Walsh.
Counselor Walsh, can you hear us?
Okay. Well, this is an motion to amend the permit, Madam Clerk. So why don't we continue the roll on this motion? We do have 7 members present. We can pass this, and then I'll say what has to happen next.
Okay. On the motion to amend, we're going to mark Counselor Walsh as absent. Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Delgado.
And I vote yes.
Yes. Counselor Walsh. And this is
Yes.
on a motion to amend the conditions.
She said yes.
Counselor Delgado. Yes. Counselor Click Bruce absent. Counselor Govan.
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Brown absent. Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Curran absent. Counselor Santinello.
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Whitfield absent. Counselor Perez absent. Counselor Fenton.
Yes, more than sufficient.
Yes.
Amendment is approved. As you can see, we are still having difficulty with audio with Counselor Walsh, and Counselor Perez has left the meeting and texted me that she was unable to hear the audio-visual as well. So with that, we no longer have the 9 requisite members needed to act on this special permit, and I would entertain a motion from the council to continue items 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we will continue them with that meeting, with that motion, please, to, I think in fairness to the petitioner, some of whom have traveled a very long distance to be here tonight, we should hear them at our next available meeting, not the next hearings meeting. So I will put them on for the next council meeting, which is scheduled for February 12th at 7 p.m. Is there such a motion?
So made.
So moved.
Motion made by Counselor Edwards. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Allen. Motion to continue. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
On the motion to continue, Counselor Walsh. Absent. Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Delgado. Yes. Counselor Click Bruce absent. Counselor Govan.
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Brown absent. Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Curran absent. Counselor Santinello.
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Whitfield absent. Counselor Perez absent. Counselor Fenton.
Yes, more than
Yes.
sufficient. Matters are continued until February 12th. Thank you all for your patience and apologize on behalf of the city for the technical difficulties.